Welcome, everyone. This is David from Boston Hammers. I'm talking with Adoksh Shastry, the founder of the Indian Hammers. It's so nice to talk to you on this momentous occasion. We're going on a European tour. I'm absolutely elated. I just wanted to check in with you. What are your feelings about the match? What are your feelings in general? I just want to hear what you have to say.
It's incredible, isn't it? We're actually going on a European adventure. And I mean, I can't believe it. I know we were flirting with those Champions League places for such a long time. But, realistically, I think the Europa League is a good place to be in next season. Because what this means is we are in a realistic tournament. We have a chance to progress through the group stages, give us an actual feel of European football, right? And I mean, I'm still in shock that we've actually made it.
Yeah, I'm still in shock. This is a new feeling, but I think it's really important. I think what we talked about before, that with kind of the heavy weight hanging over us of the new stadium and the supporters don't like it, I think we need European football to kind of liven up that stadium. I think it was such a big blow when we didn't advance against Astra Giurgiu in the first season of the London Stadium, where we could have had a Europa League group stage. So this is just massively, massively important. My feelings are that I was so nervous the first 20 minutes of the match. I thought Southampton outplayed us. I think they were wasteful with Walker Peters. I think they were wasteful with Armstrong, with Mino, I believe his name is. They should have scored on one of those three occasions. I thought it was massive that Lucas Fabianski was healthy for that match. I think if he's not healthy, they score one of those in three opportunities. He came out to narrow the angle on some of those chances. He never had a world-class save, but he had a lot of quality saves in this match. And I think we kept our cool. We survived their initial onslaught. I think we were also lucky that Mohamed Salisu was playing at left back and he's a center back. We just kind of, we knew they were weak defensively and just kind of waited for them to fall apart and then just scored those two goals and capitalized on their defensive weakness. But I'm just completely elated. It's a great feeling. It's a great feeling for Declan Rice to score the third goal, our captain, and also he seemed so gutted missing the penalty. He seemed gutted in the post-match interview against Brighton that we did not win. He's just a class act. So for him to score and then get sent off and everyone cheering, just absolutely massive.
It was great. I mean, I think you summed that up perfectly, right? We had Fabianski back for this game, which I think made a huge difference, especially that one chance where he narrowed down the angle so much that the ball was ultimately hit a little bit outside of the far post. So I think that's something, you don't need to keep doing these world-class saves that social media likes so much. What you need to do.
Very good point.
Yeah. You just need to position yourself correctly, make the right angles, narrow down the right angles. And you don't need to be fancy, nothing. Fabianski did such a huge job for us. And to be fair to Randolph, he did a brilliant job stepping in at the last moment, last game as well.
I agree.
Yeah. Because I think, I don't know if you remember, there were a couple of really good saves that he pulled off, which kept us in the game.
Yes, I do remember that. I forget who shot it, but there was one kind of almost right at him, but a little to his left or right, and he jumped up and knocked it down. It was an outstanding save. So yeah, it was very fortunate that he stepped in as well and had a commanding performance against West Brom. I don't want to get too far ahead, but now that we've made it to Europa League, we're in the group stage. What do you think we need? What positions do you think need addressing? What do you think our strategy is going to be?
I think we should analyze this in two ways, and tell me if you think differently. Situation one is Declan Rice being sold, and situation two is Declan Rice remaining with us. Because the difference between the two situations is an influx of, at the very minimum, 75 million pounds.
Yeah, I think it would be 90 million to 100 million pounds.
Yeah, I mean, that best
But
case
I
scenario.
agree, maybe with coronavirus and
Yeah,
teams' finances struggling a little more, it
yeah.
wouldn't be as high.
But worst case scenario, we're looking at 75 million, 80 million
Uh-huh.
at the very minimum. So let's say we are in that situation where we do get that 80, 85 million pound offer for Declan Rice, and for whatever reason we've gone ahead and we've sold Rice, right? And now we're talking about 80 million plus say another 30, 35, 40 million that the board pushes in. 120 million, you're looking at, we need to make sure we get a good striker. We need at least two more people in that center midfield role, because if you're going to sell Rice, that would mean your only option in that position is Mark Noble. And as much as we all love Noble, he's not going to play 38 games a season.
No,
It's
no,
just,
absolutely not.
so you
Yeah.
need a,
Oh, sorry. Keep going. Keep going.
yeah, yeah. No, so effectively, I think in any situation, we definitely need a striker. Antonio, as good as he is injury prone, is going to continue to remain injury prone. We definitely need center midfield reinforcement, someone who can play the Declan Rice role, someone who can play like Thomas Suchek. They both deserve a rest as well. And if you add European football, Thursday night games, Saturday afternoon games, it's not going to work out very well if you have one
Mhm.
option for that center midfield role. So center midfielders, at least one or two. If we hold on to Rice, at least one. Then a striker, and we need another center back. We need that solid pairing with Ogbonna, right? Because as
I
good
agree with
as,
it. I agree. We need a second center back. I think Dawson had a very strong start when he was signed. I think he's great. He's a David Moyes type of central defender, but I think he
yeah,
can make the odd error. Just because it's not his fault. He's just not very pacey. He's great physically. He's great positioning, but if you really think about it, that red card against Newcastle nearly cost us Champions League. I mean, if we win that game, I think we would be tied with one of the teams, although we wouldn't have the same goal difference. So it wouldn't have made a difference, but that was pretty crucial. So I agree with another center back. I want us to sell Balbuena. He's just not in the main squad anymore, and possibly Diop. If we could get a really quality center back. But I know David Moyes likes a narrow squad, although we're going to have to expand that with the Europa League. But in regards to the Declan Rice question, I totally agree with you. We need two center backs if he was sold. However, I believe the probability of us selling him is pretty low. That's just my opinion. I think us making Europa League has possibly afforded us one more year with him. He really seems to like the club. He seems to enjoy being captain. I don't think Chelsea are going to come after him. I don't think Man U are for the price he's at right now. So I'm fairly confident of us keeping him. So in my opinion, if there's option number 2, if he stays, I'd like us to get a striker or possibly even 2. I think Mikel Antonio will be great for the Premier League. We always play with a lone striker. I've heard some supporters really fantasizing about a 2-striker system. I just don't think that's the way David Moyes has played. I mean, he may do that in the odd match. I don't think we'll transition to that in the next campaign, but I want just an additional 2 strikers for depth. We're in the Europa League. If Antonio is injured, then we need a striker who can play in his stead and a striker who can also play in the Europa League. You never know what's going to happen. We can go without a striker. We could play with Bowen at the striker position, but I don't want that for every match. So I think we need 2 strikers. I think we might only go with 1, unfortunately. I think we need 1 center back, a left back, and a center back. That's my opinion. I'm no financial expert, so I don't even know how much money we have. You know what I mean? We also have to take into account that we're probably going to re-sign Jesse Lingard, I would say for around 18, 20 million. So that's going to affect us. From what I understand, you get 34 million for qualifying for the Europa League group stage, 34 million pounds. So I'm assuming that's going to go into our transfer kitty. I'm assuming we'll sell Lanzini, we'll sell Balbuena, we'll sell Yarmolenko. And I think we can sell Felipe Anderson to a Turkish league side. That's my prediction. I don't think we're going to get a lot of money, but I think it's going to help. I think it's going to be like Yarmolenko 8 million, Lanzini 10 million, Felipe Anderson 8 to 10 million, Balbuena 5 million. You know, it adds up. So I think if we make some smart signings, we'll be in a good position. That being said, our list of transfer targets at striker is Adam Holojek. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right. From Sparta Prague. We have Sima from Slavia Prague. We have Adam Armstrong from Blackburn Rovers. Marko Arnautovic has been mentioned, but I don't think we'll do that. And then we have Ivan Toney from Brentford and El Nesri from Sevilla. Which one of those strikers or two would you like? Oh, and I forgot about Tammy Abraham as well. But which one of those strikers would you like to see us sign and why?
The one I'm most excited about is Ivan Toney. He's done a great job for Brentford. We've seen Benrahma's quality. We've not seen Benrahma's goals, but we've seen Benrahma's quality. Ivan Toney seems to be really highly rated for Brentford. And I think if we can get him along with Adam Holshek, he's 18, 19. He's I mean, I know everyone is saying that he's already there. He is the real deal and all of that. But you know how Moyes is going to treat him. It's going to be slow progression. He's going to give
exactly. I was going to say the same thing. He's great working with young players because he really waits for them to develop. He really challenges them. I think Benrahma is a good example that he really challenged him to get back defensively, to improve his game, to not have moments where he went missing. And it seems like that's worked. So I agree.
I think someone like an Ivan Toney who can maybe hit the ground running a little faster than Adam Holshek will. And along with him, if you have Adam Holshek, who's going to get so much exposure from just being in the Premier League, being in the Europa League, with David Moyes, Kevin Nolan, with Noble, and also getting tips from Antonio. And it's just going to be a great atmosphere for him to develop into what is touted to be a very good goal scorer for the future.
Yeah. I really like Ivan Toney too, and I agree that I would like Adam Holojek also because he's not that expensive. I think it's going to be like 18 million or something, which is not a lot in today's Premier League money. But I actually, even though I really like Ivan Toney, I have to admit I have not watched any of the Brentford matches, even the semi-final against Bournemouth. But from what I've read, he's more he's good with his movement, but it's in between the two posts of the goal. And I worry that that's not a David Moyes type striker. That's what I'm worried about. So I would actually rather have Holojek, I apologize if I'm mispronouncing that name, and Armstrong from Blackburn Rovers, because I read the scouting report, and the scouting report I read seems like he's more of a Moyes player. Even though he's young, he's played in the Championship. Apparently, he's very good with spatial awareness and making the correct runs and kind of faster, more direct runs than Ivan Toney makes. And he's decent at passing. He doesn't do tricky passing, but he just looks for the player that's open and then does a direct pass to them. So again, I think that fits David Moyes' style. So I would like Holojek and Armstrong. I do suspect, though, we'll only sign one of those two players. I don't trust these owners. It's not that I don't trust Moyes. And I think he's recently made a call out to the owners, like, we've done it, come support me. But I just don't trust them. I really think they want to sell the team in 2023. They want to make as much money as possible off that sale. The potential money they could be made has been affected by the coronavirus. I don't want to be cynical, but that's really what I believe in my heart of hearts. So that I think that will kind of be the biggest story of the off season. From what I read about David Moyes, he actually plans his transfers 2 or 3 years ahead. He really rigorously scouts, and then is like, I'll add these 2 players, or these possible 2 to 4 players this year, and these possible 2 to 4 players the next year. That's what he did at Everton. So I think it will be really intriguing to see if he's supported by the board. I'm not too hopeful, but let's see. Let's see what happens. In regards to midfielder, I would really like us to signed Sander Berge. I think it's Sander Berge.
Yeah.
He's physical. I think if either Sushek or Declan Rice were to go down or couldn't play in Europa League, he would be great. He would be great in that kind of defensive midfielder role. I've really liked what I've seen with him. Plus, his team is going down, so we could maybe have him in a, get him a little cheaper. Sheffield United is going down. In regards to left back and center defense, I don't know who's available. There hasn't been much whispers about who we could pick up. I think there's two Serie A defenders, one from Napoli, one from Fiorentina, but I don't know much about it. So I'm not going to comment on something I don't know that much about, but I will say I do think we need another center back, in my humble opinion.
Absolutely. I think again, I might be getting the name wrong, but do you recall who Fulham's left back was?
I know exactly. He's is it Robinson? He's American, I believe. Am I getting the side right? Yeah, I forget his exact name, but he's American, correct? I think I totally agree with you. I think that would be another excellent target. Let me see if I can look that up. Yeah, it's like Alan Robinson or something, but I think I'm getting the name wrong. Let me look it up.
I don't recall the name. I believe he is American, and I believe, Fulham are going down. We have a good relationship with Scotty Parker. I think it'll be a good deal to do.
Yeah, and I think we were considering him in this prior off season. I'm looking up his name right now. It won't take too much time. Anthony Robinson is his name. So yeah, good shout. I think that's an excellent transfer target for us. And then we get a center back. We add him, Sander Berge, and one or two of those young strikers I mentioned, and I think we're good to go. I think El Nesri is out of our league. He's making the Champions League with Sevilla. I think he views himself as a Champions League player. I don't think we have enough money to stump for him, to be completely honest. So I think that's a no-go. I think Tammy Abraham, unless we get him on loan, I think he's out of our league as well.
I'm not actually a big fan of Tammy Abraham. I mean, a lot of people here disagree with me, but I think he's not a very solid finisher. And I know a lot of people disagree with that, but I'm just basing it on, I don't watch too many Chelsea games unless they're playing us or unless there's really nothing going on that day. But from what little I've seen of Tammy Abraham, I've never felt that he's a great finisher. And look, I know he's young and he probably will mold into a great striker under Moyes, and that's what the experts say. So clearly I'm in the wrong here, but
I don't think you're in the wrong. I think that's the essential question. I think he's not there yet in his finishing. I think you identified the problem with him. Can he grow and become the finisher he's expected to be? I think that's the answer isn't there yet. I think, like you said, David Moyes is good at developing players, but you never know. It might not work out with Tammy Abraham, and his cost is pretty high. The English players' cost is higher because you need those homegrown players. So I think if we could get him on loan, I'd be okay with it. But I agree. I don't know. I just think I would rather a cheaper player. I mean, cheaper wages and more young players to work into the system and build slowly than take a shot on someone who might become semi-world class, but it could be a failure. I don't like that strategy. So I'm actually in agreement with you there. I would like to know, though, it's a testament to how much of a team spirit and cohesiveness we've had, but who is your hammer of the year?
I think for me, it comes down to either Rice or Sushek. And if I have to pick between the two, I'm going to say Thomas Sushek, because, we don't get too many double-digit goal scorers in a single season. And for a center defensive midfielder of West Ham to do it, it's incredible. We don't have strikers who do that.
Very good point.
So I read today that the last center midfielder to score 10 goals in a season was Kevin Nolan, way back in the day now. So
the chicken dance. I used to love the chicken dance.
So for me, it's Sushek. He's done so well. He's fitted in so well, adapted to the Premier League. He's a workhorse. And for me, it's him. What about you?
I think it is a dead tie. It's, that horse race right at the end where they're neck and neck between Thomas Suchek. I agree with what you said, scoring 10 goals from the center midfield position. Also, when he's so good defensively. Also, when he made the sacrifice when Declan Rice was injured to play back, and then he couldn't go forward to score more goals. He would have had a higher goal tally if Declan Rice wasn't injured. But I'm not discounting Vladimir Sufal. I think he falls under the radar. I think our fullback play the last, whatever you want to call it, 5 to 7 years has been pretty dreadful, aside from some purple patches. But I think he has really been good defending. He's been good going forward. He's just that grifter. You look at some of our matchups, and I've looked at the team's wide player, and I've said, uh-oh. But then, for instance, in the case of Jack Grealish against Aston Villa, Fredericks helped too, but he shut him down. And there's been other instances where he's shut down the opposing player who he was supposed to mark on the wing. And he's decent going forward. You know what I mean? He's not the best crosser of the ball, but he does provide a threat. So I can't decide. For me, it's a tie between Vladimir Sufal and Thomas Suchek, and I flip a coin. It's my
absolutely. Sufal goes under the radar quite a lot, but I mean, what a workhorse, and he's such a I mean, you just fall in love with players like that, don't you? Because they have everything that you want from someone wearing the West Ham badge. They fight for the team. They're selfless, and they're strong as an ox. It's absolutely incredible to see him play for us, and goes under the radar. And I'm glad whenever our players go under the radar, because you know what happens when they shine in the limelight. Just
other teams want to snap them up. I think we're blessed to have David Moyes. I think he was a controversial choice when he was hired that second time. But if you think about how cheaply he signed Thomas Suchek and Vladimir Sufal for it, those were absolute bargains. You don't get that cheap price in the Premier League now, and for actual contributors, that just doesn't happen. But I think now is where, like I said before, I think the owners are blessed to have David Moyes. I don't think they like spending a lot of money. So now we'll see. We'll see if they're going to support him. I can see there being some controversy between him and the owners. They say they're going to give him another 3-year contract. We'll see what happens.
I'm sure he's going to be very clear about the transfer budget he's going to get for this season before he signs the contract. Look, he is in a strong position to negotiate that, particularly in the Europa League. And while we all share the apprehensions that we may not have as much money as we definitely need, I think hopefully we'll be able to find that somehow through player sales and Europa League money, and hopefully Gold and Sullivan looking into their pockets a little more than they have, and hopefully we can give Moyes what he wants, because there's no reason to doubt him one bit anymore.
Absolutely. And what do you think? Do you think the Europa League will? We can't predict too much because the players haven't been signed, the squad reinforcements haven't been signed, we haven't shed any players. But do you think our participation in the Europa League will significantly impact our league position?
I don't think it will. You know, if this was happening under another manager, even under Pellegrini, I would have been a little worried about that. But you know, Moyes is exuding so much confidence, right? And the players are playing so well, and it's really fresh right now, this whole season. So as it stands, I think with just a couple more signings, that reinforcement of a striker, a center midfielder, and a center back, I think we get those 3 signings. I think we'll be good. I don't see any reason we should be dropping down the league table. I think we will under Moyes hopefully mold into something like a Leicester is, right? You know, just battling away at the top half of the table. And while this may not happen every season, um, I'm hoping that we do mold into Leicester slowly and become a team that's consistently performing in the Premier League.
Yeah, I'm a little more. I just have what's it called? A cynical streak about me. I just think it's not. It's David Moyes' strength is also his weakness. And he's adjusted. Don't get me wrong, but we play the best when we're counterattacking, right?
Yeah.
So against teams where we have a counterattacking setup and all our players are healthy, it all goes well. But if there's injuries, I think even if we add players, the 3 or 4 players we need in the offseason, squad depth will be an issue, fatigue will be an issue. I don't believe that our league standing will fall off a cliff, but I think we'll finish, assuming we go far in Europa League or relatively far. I think we need to target something like 9th through 13th. I think our league form will be affected slightly, not majorly. I think we'll still have a lot of excellent matches. We'll still have some disappointing results because 2 or 3 key players are injured or tired from Europa League. But I am anticipating a slight dip in form, if that makes sense.
Yeah. The only reason I'm a little more optimistic about this is I'm basing it off on what Moyes did at Everton. He didn't have the biggest of squads there as well. And I think in the years that he remained manager of Everton, he consistently helped them keep both their league position as well as
that's a very good point.
Europa now and then. So they didn't fall off a cliff there. And I'm just basing it on that because right now, like you said, there's 2 ways this could go and our form may dip. But I think we agree that it won't be something as drastic as us fighting relegation while we're in the Europa League.
I'm not anticipating that. I hope I'm not proven wrong. But yeah, I don't think we'll be fighting relegation, which is a great feeling. But as we look back on the season, it's actually so hard for me to remember, even though I'm so into the match when it happens. Like if I try to remember a match 5 weeks ago, somehow I've forgotten all about it, even though it's so important to me. What are some of your favorite moments of the season?
Let's start with that Lanzini goal against Spurs.
Yes.
I literally fell off this couch. I was watching and I just could not believe it. I fell off the couch and I'm just on my knees looking at the TV and then you have that dreaded feeling of VAR is going to screw this for us.
Yeah, always.
Because I think Ogbonna had come in the way of a Spurs player who was running towards the ball. And I'd noticed that, and I was like, "Oh man, they're gonna call this off." So the Lanzini goal was top of the list for me in terms of moments of the season. That was just that was just incredible. Couple of other moments. Antonio's goal against I think it was Manchester City, the overhead kick that he did.
Oh, I forgot about that, and that's a very good shout. Yeah.
Yeah, because look, we've not had the best of results this season against the top 6. I don't think we've won any game against the big 6, right?
Yeah, not the top 6, the big 6. And that's kind of a theme with David Moyes.
Yeah. No, I was saying top 6, and then I realized we are the top 6.
I do. Oh yeah, you're right. That is absolutely true. Yeah, we are a top 6 team right now.
Top 6 now, so we have to stop. Saying, oh, we lost against the top 6. No, but I think that goal was such a feel-good moment. And that was a really good goal, and I think I'm trying to think of any other moment. Oh, I think which game was that? The band, Backstreet Boys band celebration.
Oh yeah, what was that? It wasn't Leicester, was it?
Leicester or Wolves?
No, let me look this up. Well, first let me talk about my moments, and I'll look it up at the same time. Yeah, they've made a T-shirt for it that's on sale at Etsy. Jesse Lingard is wearing it. For me, they're not moments, but they're games. Those Wolves and Leicester matches where we had lost our first 2 matches, and it looked like, oh, here we go again. I don't know if this is going to come together, and we just perfected that counter-attacking brand. Really liked those moments. It was simple, but the Angelo Ogbonna, it wasn't a great play or didn't blow your mind, but the Angelo Ogbonna header against West Brom, that really eased the tension of us possibly getting sixth. I think it was just that Jesse Lingard goal where he kind of curled it in like that. I think that was against Leicester, if I remember correctly. I'll have to look that up. And then the banned goal. But let me try. I can't believe I'm forgetting who that was against. Let me see if I can find that.
I actually bought that T-shirt. Someone from Florida was selling it on Etsy, and I paid for it. It took a while to arrive. I think it almost took a month. I mean, like couriers are notoriously slow unless it's like FedEx.
Yeah, especially with coronavirus.
Yeah, it's notoriously slow because once it reaches India, it gets stuck with the customs department, and they usually look at it to see if any duties need to be paid. I don't know. Maybe I had a West Ham fan in the India Post department because they didn't charge me any customs. It just got delivered for free, so I was really happy about that.
Yeah, you can wear that on another one of our shows, and also you'll have to message me your address so I can mail you something. I'll promise to mail you a kit.
Same to you.
That will be really awesome. Oh, it was a goal against Spurs. It was a goal against Spurs.
Oh,
how could we be forgetting that? Backstreet Boys, West Ham's musical celebration for Lingard's goal versus Spurs explained. Yeah. Oh wow. And now it all comes back to me. I actually remember that I believe we went 2 goals up, and then Spurs just attacked, and they couldn't finish us off. Yeah. I think that's definitely a top 3 moment, if not the second best moment. That goal. Absolutely. And I think it's a testament to it sounds corny, but the team just really seems to like playing with each other. There just seems to be a great team spirit, a sense of togetherness. I think Soucek and Soufal's commitment to just being at the training ground all the time, and that's what they've said, that they're the first ones in there, the last ones out. I think Aaron Cresswell said that's motivated him to train more and give better effort. And I think it's a stark contrast to the Pellegrini era where it seems like there was a lot of passengers, who were relying on their skill but weren't giving it their all. They were giving 90%, but they weren't giving it their all.
Yeah.
So.
But just going back to the Pellegrini era, I don't know if you noticed, but Real Betis has qualified for the Europa League as well.
I knew they were in the hunt, but didn't check the standings yesterday. So you're right. That would be absolutely intriguing if we drew them and played them.
And the other side, we have, I mean, my pronunciation may be wrong, but Marseille have qualified as well.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So we could get Dimitri Payet. No, you're that pronunciation was spot on. I speak very conversational French. So,
imagine that group, right? Imagine you have Real Betis, West Ham, Marseille, and
that would be a joy. Also, Marseille is a really beautiful city, so to be able to travel to Marseille would be awesome. My next step is just figuring out the finances and the time off work and how to go to at least 1 home match in the group stage and 1 away match. But I'm going to do it whenever the football calls. I make sure to do it. So.
No, absolutely. I'm planning to do that as well. Get vaccinated. I finished my first dose here, so the second dose is about 8 weeks away now. Get those 2 doses done. Get that vaccine passport, and fly in for a Europa League game, because you never know how often this is going to happen. I don't want to miss it.
Yeah, well, West Ham has rarely, if ever, had 2 consecutive excellent seasons. So yeah, this could be we need to do this. I would say we need to at all costs. Absolutely. But it's been great talking with you, Adoksh. I actually have another meeting at 2:00, another conversation. So super. I have to go, but I really appreciate you making the time for me, especially with everything that's been going on with India and the coronavirus. once again, I've seen you've been doing outstanding work, helping out others in your surrounding area. So shout out for that. I hope to talk to you again. I hope to see you at one of the Europa League matches, and I will request your address to send you some merchandise or kits or whatever. I'm really looking forward to that. And once again, thank you so much. We're going on a European tour. I could not be happier. Come on, you Irons.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're
Come on,
welcome.
you.